Guys, welcome back. This is part 2 of theme 1 NCERT from 4th point, tracking social differences. Before these 1, 2, 3 points are discussed in the previous video, link for which will be provided in the description, plus you can click on the thumbnail. Now let's get started from this subsection 4, tracking social differences. See guys, the Mesopotamian and Harappan were although similar time, but they had a difference between the social differences. Whereas pyramids had huge burials and depositories of precious metals, stones, etc. Where then at the same time Harappa had not so great burials. That is, although there were some ornaments, pots, and copper mirror like this shown here were found, but they were not in great quantity as it was shown at the excavations at pyramids during Mesopotamia time. So we can decipher from this that there was not much social differences, although the social differences existed, but these can't be said with clarity. At the end we can conclude that the Harappans did not believe in burying precious things with the dead, because there were not found any huge depositories. And at the same time, why these small quantities were found? Can you guess this? Let me tell you that they believe in afterlife. It shows that they believe in afterlife, so that people lying here would use the mirror, pots, ornaments for his or her personal use, so that they believed in afterlife. This can be deciphered from this. Now looking for luxuries, guys, this is an strategy to identify social differences is to study artifacts. Basically archaeologists classify into utilitarian and luxuries. Utilitarian means day to day things, and luxuries means some limited people have, like car today is a luxury, but bicycle and a two-wheeler is utilitarian at some level. So these were the two basic bifurcations that included identifying social differences to study artifacts. The first category include the people of daily use, as we have discussed, like pottery, fish, needles, flesh, rubbers, etc. And these were usually found distributed throughout the empire. And that were luxury were non-local materials, that is, they were imported, as even it is today the cars, like luxury cars, are imported. So the little pots, such an example is a faience, is an expensive material made up of clay plus color baked together plus gum to fix them. That is, clay plus gum. Clay, the here means sand or silica. These were fixed together plus gum plus color. These were fixed together and baked to make faience pot. This was a luxury during that time. Now we see about the spindle holes were made of rare materials such as faience. Guys, hoards, these were kept by the people carefully, that is, depositories to be used, that is like today's saving account. These were kept with precious metals such as jewelry or metal object saved for use by metal workers. if the today we if they would have not retrieved them, we would have found them, but most of them were retrieved and some remain that are found by archaeologists. Guys, now see the pattern here. If we find the distribution of artifacts, we find the rare objects made up of valuable material are generally in large settlements. Large settlements have luxury materials. For example, the miniature pot of faience as used as a perfume bottle in Harappa and Mohenjo-daro mostly. And there are also small settlements like Kalibangan. Gold was here too rare, and at present probably precious. All the gold jewelries found at Harappa were from hoards, that is underground safe depositories by people. Okay, guys, here finding out about craft production, the places where craft production was important. The place like Chanu Dado is a tiny settlement which is 7 hectares only as compared to Mohenjo-daro, which is very large, largest among them. This Chanu Dado is dedicated to bead making, shell cutting, and metal working, seal making, plus weight making. These are the things that are related exclusively to Chanu Dado, and this was a production center. Okay, the Chanu Dado has been very important production plus trade center, can be asked directly as a fact. Now, the techniques that were used for making beads, were very different according to the shape of material and the properties of material. Steatite, which is soapstone, is a very soft stone which can easily work. Some beads were made up of paste. So first it was made in powdered form, then paste was made, then beads were converted from it. Different geometrical shapes were given. The special places like drills have been found at Chanu Dado, Lothal, and most recently at Dholavira. If you locate Nageshwar and Balakot, then you will notice that both settlements are near the coast. Near the coast means shell production, which is easily from ocean. So this was the speciality of these two places, Nageshwar and Balakot. These shell objects were things like bangles, ladles, and inlay. That were the basically focus on women ornaments. Now this paragraph says about that the finished products were taken, such as beads from Chanu Dado and local to large urban centers like Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. Guys, here we see that red carnelian. This color red carnelian was obtained by firing yellow raw material and beads at various stages. Now identifying centers of production. The guys, remember, waste material we get from art is the significatory of or indication of how effective art is. The things that were small were having very small waste, but large, and these were abandoned at the place of creating art. but the things that were large, or the artifacts that were large like these, the waste was produced was huge, and this waste was reused. This waste was usually reused for making smaller objects or artifacts. Now, the raw material, which is the basic necessity of artifacts, this was procured from various regions. We can see here in this map that this is Dilmun, which is Bahrain. This is Magan, which is Oman. From here, copper is imported. This is Mesopotamia. This is Iran Valley Civilization. This is Indus Valley Civilization. Now the strategy was like this, that they procured Shortugai. The place called Shortugai was place for procuring. This was place in Afghanistan. This was place for procuring lapis lazuli, which is a blue colored material used for making artifacts or beads. Nageshwar and Balakot, as we have seen earlier, for shells. Lothal for carnelian. Steatite was procured from South Rajasthan and Oman. South Rajasthan and North Gujarat. Metal, which was basically copper. Majority of them was copper. It was produced from Rajasthan and Oman. At Rajasthan, there was a place called Khetri Mines, which is the civilization place of Ganeshwar Jodhpura culture. Guys, this Ganeshwar Jodhpura culture was more older civilization than Harappa. Basically, it is a Chalcolithic age. It was earlier than Harappa established, plus it was contemporary to Indus Valley civilization. This placed Ganeshwar Jodhpura was used to procure copper. How this place was different, how we can consider this? Because the artifacts found at Indus Valley civilization were not similar to Ganeshwar Jodhpura site. So from this we can consider that these two civilizations were different from each other. Guys, then now the things like timber was procured from outside of the alluvial plain, which was outside the Indus Valley civilization, and clay, as we see, was locally available. Now this is the map. Here you can see a Harappan jar found in Oman. This was colored or coated with black clay. Why this was coated? Because to prevent percolation of liquid, so that liquid stays intact. Here this was painted with black clay. Guys, how we can find the evidences of such places? These are from Mesopotamian texts or Sumerian culture text, which is deciphered to a level. Here we find the evidences of these names. The places like Bahrain was called Dilmun. Okay, and this was called in Sumerian or Mesopotamian text. Melua, this has been asked by UPSC, so remember the things like these. Melua is the Indus Valley civilization name mentioned in Mesopotamia texts. This here you can see the Indus Valley civilization was called as land of seafarers. Why? Because they seafared. That is, they were wanderers of sea. This you can depict from this seal, which is rectangular plus having ship or boat on it. Guys, here the mention of Haja bird is there. This Haja bird, there is a popular saying in Mesopotamia that may your bird be the Haja bird. May its call be heard in your royal palace. This Haja bird is depicted to be peacock, which was sacred and found in India. This is mentioned in Mesopotamia texts. Now the seals, scripts and weights. Guys, here we will see in great detail about these things. Seals. Guys, remember the seals are not coins. Basically, we don't find evidence of coins in Indus Valley civilization. We find only seals. Coins we find after 1000 years during 500 BCE to 600 BCE, during the rise of empire states like Magad, etc. Guys, the seals here were used basically for giving the signal that the product is intact. This seal was like today's day Amazon etc. seal. They keep the seal intact so that the product is not tempered. This can be deciphered from this. This seal was like this, and it represented a particular person. One seal is related to particular person or group of persons or places. This was the general understanding at that time. Now, the script, although not discovered today, is very enigmatic script. Guys, here enigmatic means it contains motifs. That is for those who could not read. It is very easily decipherable or encoded easily by them. These contain, you can see the example here. These contain the figures like this represents leaf, this present object, and somewhere fishes are shown like these. So these are the enigmatic features of a script. We can find almost 375 to 400 signs, and basically the largest inscription found is about 26 words or signs. Basically, this is a short script in which the word is conveyed by picture or pictographic script. Now, talking about weights. Guys, weights, these were the most precise system. These were also followed by Dilmun people or Bahrain people. The weights were cubical, like you have all seen cubes. These are the weights, and these were generally having no markings, and these were binary in denominations, made of stone called chert. These were like this. One was of 1 kg, 2 kg, 4 kg, 8 kg, 16, 32, etc. This was the binary system. That is power of 2. the ratio of weight was maintained throughout the empire. This is the special characteristic, that is the ratio etc. was maintained. This indicates to the fact that there would have been a central authority regulating all these things. Now guys, about the palaces and kings. This is depicted as priest king. You can see the different and engraved beard plus the shawl covered. This is the amulet. This is a very special appearing feature with great detail. Is supposed to be priest king. The palaces and kings. There is no palace evidence as found directly in Indus Valley civilization. But at Mohenjo-daro, priest king is depicted by archaeologists. Guys, why he is assumed as priest king? Because at that same time, Mesopotamian culture, there was a ritual, and this civilization believed in natural powers. Indus Valley civilization people also believed in natural powers. But some opine that there was no ruler in IVC. Everyone was having equal status. Any of these things can't be said with surety, as we lack evidence, because the majority of things that are deciphered are on basis of artifacts and no written texts. So this is a lacuna of studies. Why this lacuna emerged, we will see in coming 5 minutes, that why these problems occurred in deciphering things. Now the most controversial topic, the end of civilization, how it occurred. Guys, see, around 1800 BC, most of the mature Harappan sites such as Cholistan has been abandoned. That is, people stopped living there. Expansion into new settlements like in Gujarat, Haryana, West UP started. Around 1900 BCE, material cultures, distinctive artifacts, these all were lost. By the end of 19th century, 1900 CE. These these artifacts were lost by the end of 1800 CE, BCE. Pardon. The expansion led to decreased house conditions, that is, the uniformity was decreased, deteriorated large public settlements like today's urban slums. That is, the civilization proceeded to rural from urban. Initially it was urban, hugely urban. Now it started becoming rural. The people went to all subsistence on agriculture, etc. Now some say that the end of civilization was due to the invasion. Guys, this is a theory propounded by some archaeologists like John Marshall, that they found the dead man lane in which 3 to 6 feet, which was wide, there were the skull and bones of thorax, upper arm were discovered in very friable condition at a depth 4 feet. So he considered there was an invasion or war and people were protecting and died, and the civilization came to end. Some say that the Rigvedic god of war, which was later written during 1000 BCE, Purandar, which is form of Indra, he was the fort destroyer. But some say there was no invasion, as we don't find burning, excessive burning, no excessive destruction, or no swords or defense, etc. So these are the projected things, but are disputed at the same time. Now, the discovery of Harappan civilization. How this discovery happened? Guys, see the Cunningham, first Director General of ASI in 19th century CE. He had a major interest in 500 BCE to 600 BCE, that is the Mauryan Magadhan Empire rules era. So after the discovery of the bull seal by him, he expected it to be of 500 BCE, but didn't realize that it was much older than this. Laterly, R.D. Banerjee found some seals. Daram Sahni had a major contribution. R.D. Banerjee, Rakhaldas Banerjee found similar seals at Mohenjo-daro, etc. Guys, see, the people always knew how, because the generation to generation things get transferred in form of knowledge or stories. These stories are somewhere true, even though distorted, but a fact or as a matter of fact, some relevance remained to them. This was the basic thinking which led to the discovery of mankind. Coming back to the topic, the John Marshall name is very significant. Actually, you can see here the stratigraphic layers. Stratigraphic means these are the stratigraphic layer. As one generation proceeds, after 100 or 200 years, this layer forms, and the artifacts or different items are distributed across the stratigraphic layer. But John Marshall did that, he excavated horizontally in straight lines. These were the straight lines followed by John Marshall. But in reality, these were not straight. So he clubbed different artifacts of different timeline together. This led to the mixing up of artifacts and distortion of history facts. This is the major reason why today the facts are not so solid or lacking evidence. This is the reason. So to rectify his mistake, new techniques were discovered or brought by R.E.M. Wheeler, who was a military precision person. He started excavating along the stratigraphic layers. He brought new technologies to his hand. Now, the problem of piecing together. This topic tells us about that we can't understand anything from script. Yes, this is true. All knowledge we gathered is from material evidence. which led to archaeological estimation. These are the indirect evidences and can be challenged anytime. This is the problem of piecing them together. These can be challenged anytime. This is mother goddess figure found at Mohenjo-daro. Guys, now some say that the proto Shiva, these are the material evidences found at Indus Valley civilization or Harappan culture. This is mother goddess, this is proto Shiva. Some consider this proto Shiva similar to Rudra in Rigved. This proto Shiva is also called as Pashupati. But there are some opinions that he does not belong because the timelines are different. Some suggest that he is a yogi or shaman. Shaman here a person who is closer to God and have magical powers to heal and communicate with other world. Somewhere the linga, that is, these are considered as ling or male genital parts. These are confused with chess game. Nothing can be said with surety. Guys, these are the basic problems in deciphering artifacts. There's nothing can be said with surety, because these are the estimation according to today's thinking and not the utility of that time. So this sums up the chapter. This table is important, must have a view at it, how the chronology started from lower Paleolithic. So this sums the chapter of Indus Valley civilization or Harappan culture. We will see the PYQ of pre plus mains shortly. Thank you guys. Have a great day.